Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this. My name is Arkady, and I'm one of the people behind this project. In the next few minutes, I'd like to share how we think about the next step in AI, not as an assistant that gives answers, but as a system that helps organizations think and decide better. What we are building is called agent-based expert councils. Large language models are extremely good at answering questions, but management decisions are not questions with correct answers. They involve trade-offs, uncertainty, and risk. When we rely on a single model, we often get a confident answer, but we lose alternatives, assumptions, and dissent. That is exactly what organizations cannot afford at strategic decision points. We believe the main bottleneck in AI today is no longer model quality. It is how multiple intelligences interact. The industry is moving toward autonomous agents and multi-agent systems, but there are no mature standards for collective reasoning. How do agents disagree? How do they converge? How do we trust the outcome? Our answer is adversarial agent frameworks, but not in the sense of conflict. Adversarial here means structured pressure between perspectives. Pressure that reveals weak assumptions, stress tests alternatives, and prevents early false consensus. In this model, quality comes from the process, not from a smarter model. Collective reasoning can take many institutional forms: markets, courts, parliaments. We deliberately start with the most practical one, the Corporate Expert Council, what is familiar to organizations of all sizes, and reflects how real decisions are already made. AI does not decide. It supports people in making better decisions. An AI expert council is not an ensemble of models. It is a group of autonomous agents, potentially running on different language models. Each agent has a clearly defined role, described as a professional resume: experience, education, and worldview. The goal is not agreement, but meaningful divergence that can be examined. The value of the system comes from the protocol. In the MVP, every agent independently forms a position. Then, every agent is required to evaluate the positions of all others. No opinion passes through without collective scrutiny. The result is aggregated into a governance-ready output. Mandatory peer review creates built-in adversarial pressure. It eliminates the single dominant voice. It forces explicit disagreement and justification, and it makes the outcome explainable. Not only what was recommended, but why alternatives were rejected. The system does not produce an answer. It produces governance artifacts: recommendations, assumptions, risks, dissent, and open questions. These are exactly the materials organizations need to make informed decisions, and to revisit them later if conditions change. Decisions do not exist in isolation. That is why we introduce decision memory, a persistent record of finalized decisions, not raw debates. Over time, this becomes an institutional asset, a history of reasoning, assumptions, and risk. It also creates strong switching costs. There is strong empirical evidence that the quality of corporate governance correlates with financial performance, including return on equity and firm value. We are not claiming that AI directly increases profits. We are claiming that systems which improve the structure and quality of decision-making have clear economic value. We are building this system for organizations that already feel the cost of poor or under-structured decisions, startups that cannot afford continuous expert input, mid-market companies that lack internal depth, and enterprise teams that need scale, consistency, and auditability. Our early adopters are strategy-driven teams who actively look for better ways to decide. This category cannot exist without trust. The system is model agnostic and deployment agnostic: cloud, private cloud, or on-premise. For sensitive data, we use a consistency-preserving sanitization layer that protects confidentiality without breaking reasoning. Security is a prerequisite, not an add-on. Today, the MVP already delivers value through multi-voice expert councils and decision memory. From here, we expand into deeper debate modes and other institutional reasoning models. If this way of thinking about AI resonates with you and you're interested in early access or a conversation, please request access at mycouncil.xyz or contact me directly. We'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you for your time.